In the calmest tone she could muster, Go Yongin addressed the usher machine.
If your answer is no, please remain still. If it is yes, nod your head. Did guests who finished viewing the exhibition on this fourth floor go upstairs? Did guests who finished viewing the exhibition on this fourth floor go downstairs? Thank you. I'll continue enjoying the exhibition now.
The usher machine remained quietly in place as the three within the candle's radius left. As they rounded the corner, Go Yongin couldn't help but exclaim,
Move slowly. The candle will burn for about 2 hours, so it's critical not to let it go out midway.
and then the process repeated.
Did guests who finished viewing the exhibition on this third floor go downstairs?
It worked again. The three new hires were now walking with cautious but hopeful steps, fueled by the thrill of escape. Either the first or second floor, the same thought occurred to everyone. Go Yongin bit her tongue to keep her excitement in check.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
If she were to drop the candle, it would all be over. To avoid escaping with her eyes, tongue, or limbs taken, she needed to remain composed. As she took a careful step forward, something seized her foot. Go Yongin froze and looked down. There was a human being, his eyes replaced with telescopic lenses, crawling desperately on the floor and clutching at her pants leg. It was our squad's leader, Go Yonggin's superior. I looked at the person who had stopped ahead of me. Someone was clinging desperately to the leg of the person ahead, shouting,
Miss Goral, if you get me out of here, I'll make equipment for you. The kind only a section chief can access. Right away, too, okay?
So Go Yongin is from the R squad. Seems was R squad's section chief. But for someone supposedly in charge of a squad in the field exploration team, he looked utterly pathetic. His limbs weren't taken as payment but seemed completely broken, leaving him unable to stand. Did infighting break out? If he were a proper squad leader, he should have been able to hold out with his equipment and items while moving stealthily. His current state made it almost certain that hadn't happened. He must be on the verge of death. And in this desperate moment, seeing a rookie from his squad wielding a remarkable item, he had lunged forward, recognizing his last lifeline.
Miss Goral, that's an item, isn't it? Whoa, it looks great. Take me with you, please, okay?
Whoa, not even scared, huh? Babbling away.
Baek Sehyun muttered under his breath. Then he turned to Go Yongin and said,
Let's see if the monster machines hear him. Not like he's in any condition to run away anyway.
Huh? What kind of nonsense is that?
Our squad's leader, who had been begging to go Yonggyun, turned to look at Baek Sehyun. The gleam of his telescopic lenses flickered.
You. Which squad are you a rookie from?
Oh, right. It doesn't matter. What matters is getting out of here. But look, the item my squad's rookie is using. It's shaped like a candle. A consumable, huh?
Flame-based. Yeah, defensive item, right? Right, yeah, that must be it. So, then, what if I shake it, and put the flame out?
Go Yonggyun, who nearly stumbled, quickly steadied the candle in her grip. I was about to summon my special equipment to use a third hand to pry him off, but the squad leader clung to Go Yonggyun's leg again.
Do you think I, even in this state, no less than a rookie? Take me with you.
You left me behind, squad leader.
Go Yonggyun muttered in an eerily quiet voice. When the machines came, you pushed me aside and ran. I thought Go Yonggyun hadn't met any teammates and had been wandering alone because the team had split up when they entered. So that's why she was by herself.
No, I did what I could. I couldn't die trying to save a rookie, so I left you behind. But now you can take me with you. If the conditions allow, humans should act humanely.
The squad leader screamed desperately, clutching at her. Tears didn't even flow from the lens-replaced eyes.
If you don't take me with you, it's murder! Murder! Just try leaving me behind. I'll destroy that item. Somehow,
Our squad's leader's body went limp and collapsed sideways. Baek Sehyun retracted his left foot, which had just struck the squad leader in the temple. I recalled the third hand back into the glove, which struck the back of the R squad's leader's head. He's still breathing, right? I hadn't meant for both of us to hit him, but here we were. At least the situation seemed to have settled. I glanced down at the disheveled, middle-aged office worker sprawled on the floor. Well, he does have experience in field exploration. He had crafted a balance of pleas that could tug at a rookie's heartstrings and threats that could instill fear. A manipulative mix. Go Yongyun still held the candle steady, but her trembling gaze betrayed how shaken she was by the pitiful state of her superior.
Now we just take his head and leave, right? He's going to die anyway. It'd make it easier for him and give us spare payments for a plan B. There's literally no downside.
As Baek Sehyun and I spoke on either side, Go Yongyun's face grew increasingly pale.
This is ridiculous. No, I can't.
What are you talking about? People can do anything to survive. Of course, it's possible.
Go Yongyun tightened her grip on the candle, then kicked the squad leader toward a shadowy sofa corner. His body slid into the dim recess.
No, it's not. Don't listen to him, Miss Gorel. This way the machines won't spot him immediately. Let's go before the candle burns out.
Making things complicated. He's going to die anyway.
If you owe your life to someone kind, you should stop saying things like that, don't you think? Still, thank you, both of you. I almost got caught up in that.
Surprisingly, Baek Sehyun didn't say another word. I thought he'd make a snide comment or demand something in return. But he didn't. We descended the stairs once more. The disruption and the incident were behind us. The end was in sight. Go Yongun, now accustomed to the process, posed her question to the usher machine.
Have guests who finished viewing the exhibition on this floor gone downstairs?
This essentially provided the answer they were looking for. If the exit is on the ground floor, and below the second floor, the only possibility left was the first floor. For the first time, Go Yongyun and Baek Sehyun were in complete agreement. So the entrance really is on the first floor, just like modern logic would suggest. What a coincidence that everything lined up this way. A faint sense of exhaustion crept in at the thought of how roundabout their journey had been, but the excitement of finally finding the exit outweighed it. I hastened my pace. All that remained was to pinpoint the entrance and relay the information to my superiors waiting on the terrace.
Oh dear, is your exhibition tour over already? That's a shame. It seems like you've barely seen 5 of the halls. Ho-ho, keep looking, and you might lose your eyes, nose, or mouth. You might faint before then, too.
Even now, the three of us are sticking together under the candlelight to survive. I tapped the pocket where I kept Braun as if soothing him and continued walking. Go Yongyun, carrying the candle, walked with renewed confidence. That determination didn't falter even when she faced the usher machine on the first floor. Her desire to leave seemed to overpower any lingering fear. Once again, the machine, influenced by the candle, responded politely. Taking a deep breath, Go Yongyun made a firm request.
Please guide us to the entrance.
The machine remained motionless. With a face turning ashen, Go Yongyun glanced nervously at the candle, as if worried it had lost its power. The flame flickered steadily, still shining brightly. After checking it a few more times, she spoke again in a trembling voice.
Please, guide us to the entrance.
The atmosphere dropped to a glacial temperature. I recited a familiar phrase, and Go Yongyun's expression darkened as she repeated it.
Have guests who finished viewing the exhibition on this first floor gone downstairs? If yes, please nod.
The usher machine's answers conflicted. Go Yongyun swallowed hard.
But the usher machine on the basement floor clearly said people went up.
A chill ran down my spine. What the hell is going on? The statements didn't add up. In the basement it said to go up, yet on the ground floor it said to go down. Even if there were multiple exits nearby, this blatant contradiction made no sense. That does explain why so few survivors are mentioned in the something, despite the exit being obviously on the first floor.
Instead of wasting time repeating the same question, let's just go to the basement and ask directly. We still have candlelight left, so let's not waste it.
Urged by Baek Sehyun, we started looking for the stairs to the basement. The path leading down felt unnaturally long and heavy.
They said to go up? Damn it.
The same response as before. According to the usher machine, visitors who finished viewing the exhibition on the basement floor had indeed gone upstairs. Even Baek Sehyun fell silent. Everyone's thoughts were tangled. Go, Yongyun lowered her head.
Do you think maybe there isn't an exit at all?
This could just be a place that tricks and torments people, giving them false hope to make their suffering worse. There are so many ghost stories like that.
No, there's definitely an exit.
I wasn't saying this just because I had read the something. Do you remember? Before coming in here, we were given a brief manual. Though the information had been corrupted and turned into an exhibition invitation, it still applied.
An exit record exists because someone succeeded in escaping. That's how this became a registered darkness under Daydream Inc.
Go Yongyun raised her head.
You're right, that makes sense.
Taking a deep breath, she spoke again, her voice steadier.
Who? I'm sorry. In time something, it's important not to get lost in emotion. There must be a solution.
It might look like a contradiction, but there was something we hadn't figured out yet. Just as we were deep in thought, Baek Sehyun spoke, looking at me with a peculiar expression.
Yeah, what does Braun say?
I'm waiting for my brilliant friend's answer!
Of course, that wasn't because Baek Sehyun thought Braun could actually speak. He probably asked because he thought I was a lunatic for talking to a little plushie. I get it, you want some unconventional ideas. I deliberately stared at Baek Sehyun before responding.
How would a doll talk?
Think before you speak, yeah?
Baek Sehyun clenched his fist tightly.
But throwing out ideas isn't a bad thought.
Ms. Goral, do you have any ideas?
As positively as possible. Let's assume there's definitely an exit nearby.
Then, a secret space, maybe?
Go Yongen furrowed her brow.
Like how attics are sometimes above the top floor. Maybe there's another space between the basement and the ground floors. A parking lot, perhaps?
There's no record of such a secret space in this exhibition hall. But it's still a possibility. After all, experiencing something firsthand is different from reading about it. Sometimes, even with prior knowledge, things don't match up perfectly. We didn't know the window was actually a terrace door after all. But I felt the exit would be in a more obvious location. Conceptually, it's strange for an official pathway to be in a secret space. So, the exit likely exists in plain sight, but we're failing to notice it due to biases, thought patterns, or cultural factors. Baek Sehyun looked at me in surprise, and Go Yonggin, unable to turn around due to the candle's effect, glanced downward anxiously.
Do you have enough stamina to go up and down the stairs a few more times?
We need to climb to the top floor.
We returned to the stairs.
We just need to climb, right?
I began climbing, but instead of just walking until the next floor appeared, I started counting. We kept climbing until the stairs simply stopped. We had reached the very top floor of this massive mansion. On our way up, we encountered usher machines 3 times. Each time, Go Yonggin asked the machines questions, but the answers were always the same. By now, the 2 of them must have been wondering, why are we climbing when the machines say to go down? The answer lay here on this top floor.
Ms. Goral, how many floors do you think we've climbed?
Wait, if I counted correctly,
6 floors.
this is the 6th floor, not the 7th. But this mansion was supposed to have 7 floors.
This historic mansion is composed of 7 floors above ground and 7,221 floors below ground.
This contradicted Braun's explanation. But Braun, being a good friend, wouldn't lie. So if everything is true,
Did you intentionally lie about the 7th floor?
Baek Sehyun started, but I interrupted.
Ms. Goral, do you know this?
There were many ghost stories, situations where what seemed logical and clear to one person becomes completely irrational for another due to cultural or environmental differences. It's a kind of ghost story that thrives on the unease created by these disparities. Like when I once identified a clown painting because I understood the difference between a clown and a Perot in that previous darkness exploration.
How floors are counted depends on cultural norms. In countries like the US or South Korea, and East Asian countries in general, floor numbering starts from the 1st floor. In other cultural contexts, it works differently.
That explains why the stairs from the ground floor to the basement seemed unnaturally long. It wasn't just perception.
They start counting from the ground floor, or floor 0.
The ground floor, as it's often called.
So this mansion does have 7 floors above ground, from GFF or 0F to 6F.
I looked down the stairs.
Now we just need to go back to 1F and ask how to find the way to 0F.
And that's exactly what we did.
Please guide us to the path leading to 0F.
Following the path led by the usher machine on 1F, we walked forward and, surprisingly, found a staircase of a completely different design on the opposite side of the main exhibition hall. A massive double spiral staircase. If we descended one of the spirals, we could, of course, end up in the basement exhibition hall, where the bronze glow transitions into brass, just like before. But there was another option. We could stop midway and choose to open a massive door, and so I opened that door. A grand, elegant space bathed in silver light unfolded before us. It wasn't an exhibition hall, a floor functioning purely as a lobby without any exhibits, and therefore not connected to the usual staircases for exhibition halls. This was the elusive 0F. We had finally entered this floor through its most proper passageway, and right in front of us was a stained glass-style glass door.
The main entrance.
Though the light pouring through obscured the view of the outside, it was unmistakable. We had found the exit at last. Shouts of relief and deep sighs of exhaustion filled the lobby, and then cheers of joy.
Mr. Roe, dear, your deduction was right. It was right again. Wow. Let's get out of here immediately.
Truly, I wanted nothing more than to scream and run out in celebration.
I need to find my superiors and leave with them.
Then you'll need the candle, won't you? Let's go together and get them quickly.
Truly, thank you so much. Wandering this place alone while searching for my fellow rookies had already drained me completely. Go Younggin's choice was exactly what I expected of her character. As for Baek Deok-soo, well, his decision was no surprise either. Without hesitation, he made a beeline for the door.
Do as you like. I'm out of here.
I watched Baek Deok-soo with an unimpressed look. I'd better observe what happens when someone uses the door, what effects it has, and how it reacts. But then, Baek Deok-soo hesitated and slowly stepped away from the entrance.
I thought you were leaving.
I'll let someone else go first.
It'd be easier for everyone if he just left. I gave him a slightly disappointed glance and turned my attention elsewhere.
Ha ha ha! This is quite the amusing situation, Mr. Roe, dear!
I don't find it amusing, but it's comforting to know that someone does.
So now you're heading off to inform your remarkably ordinary superiors about the location of the exit!
Though remarkably ordinary aren't exactly the words I'd use for them. How many times have I scoured this mansion by now? My legs were ready to give out, but I needed to move quickly.
Wait a moment! Are your legs hurting, my friend? Oh, then it's time for me to introduce my newest ability. Yes! Thanks to the splendid bath you gifted me, my dear friend, I've rejuvenated myself. Allow me to demonstrate my strength. Now, take me out of your pocket!
His tone was oddly grandiose, yet carried a subtle air of gratitude. I followed his instructions and pulled the stuffed doll from my pocket.
Please wait a moment.
Precisely! You won't need to wait long! A true performer is always prepared to impress!
I felt something open within me, as if my chest and mouth had been unlocked, a sense of resonance. It was as though a vast space had formed within me. The vibration of my vocal cords reverberated throughout the entire lobby.
In my show, no guest needs to raise their voice. Every word will be comfortably and clearly heard by the audience and viewers. Ah, what a wonderfully mainstream way to put it! Mr. Roe, dear, my dear friend, your words will now reach everyone clearly, as long as they're in the same studio. In this case, the same floor, if you will.
He had actually become more capable. Though, unfortunately, this ability doesn't seem very suitable for the current situation. I only needed to call the superiors waiting in the terrace room. If everyone on this floor could hear me instead. Is that really a bad thing? Supervisor Park Min-seong suppressed a sigh as he sat down next to the sofa in the terrace room where he had been hiding.
This is taking too long.
It had been over 70 minutes since Kim Soleum went downstairs with his fellow new hires. Though Soleum had mentioned that this amount of time might be needed, he had also left a caveat about what to do if neither he nor the others returned within 2 hours.
Don't bother waiting or looking for me.
In other words, if things went south, they should just leave him behind.
I should just gone with him.
Park Min-seong stifled another sigh. Even though Daydream Inc. thrived on a survival of the fittest philosophy, there were still some squads in the field exploration team with strong camaraderie, and D Squad happened to be one of them. Assistant manager Eun Ha-jae, too, was sitting on the sofa, visibly unsettled as she revised a makeshift map of this darkness. Every now and then, she sighed deeply. For now, though, making it out of here alive took priority. Feeling slightly glum, Park Min-seong still found some reassurance in one thing.
Squad leader Lee Jae-hyun approved this after all.
That meant the item was likely as reliable as it seemed. Min Seong had no idea where the rookie had managed to get it, but occasionally there were such cases. People who joined the company after being repeatedly caught up in urban legends or ghost stories.
Is he a case like that?
Perhaps it was more accurate to call it bad luck. Even in the field exploration team, it was rare for rookies to be deployed into dangerous darknesses. Maybe once a year, if that. Thinking about Kim Soleum, who had gone from one high-risk mission, like the theme park, to another, almost brought tears to Min Seong's eyes.
At least he's been earning points.
Park Min Seong suppressed another sigh and looked toward the terrace door. There stood a figure, completely unbothered, in stark contrast to Min Seong's restless thoughts. Squad leader Lee Jae-hyun. Without the slightest movement, he remained stationed right by the terrace door. He was likely measuring the passage of time with an unnervingly precise internal clock. Once the countdown ended, he would undoubtedly rise and act according to plan, without hesitation. Min Seong could only hope that the plan didn't involve excluding Kim Soleum from the escape attempt due to a lack of survival prospects.
No, before that, I just hope Ro comes back.
Outside, apart from the occasional scream, there was an unsettling quiet. If Ro had finished his task, surely the sound of 3 sets of calm footsteps would be the first thing they heard. Park Min Seong leapt to his feet. Next to him, assistant manager Yoon Ha-jae reflexively did the same.
This is an announcement regarding the escape route. There isn't enough time to repeat myself, so please pay attention.
It was the voice of the rookie who D-Squad had been waiting for, Kim Soleum.
Let me repeat. The exit is at 0F. You need to descend the stairs until the bronze glow transitions into brass.
It was undoubtedly Ro's voice. Given how extraordinary this rookie had proven to be, it wasn't even surprising if he had found a clever way to broadcast an announcement. But what if it wasn't him? What if something not human was merely imitating Kim Soleum? The 2 members of D-Squad exchanged a glance, silently leaving the final decision to the person best equipped to handle this. Their squad leader, who had a reputation for unerring judgment in these situations. Lee Jae-hyun stood by the terrace door, having clearly heard the announcement. He stared blankly into space as if deep in thought.
You must use the spiral staircase.
After a moment of contemplation, he made his decision.
That concludes the announcement.
I finally finished repeating the message for the 6th time. From the 1st to the 6th floor. That should cover all the surface levels. I debated whether to focus only on D-Squad, stationed on the 1st floor, but Ms. Gorel had been adamant.
You mean you can do that? Then we have to save as many people as we can.
It was such a statement befitting someone in the medical field. Now, however, it was up to everyone's individual judgment. I deliberately avoided introducing myself or mentioning the company, but I did include a few terms familiar to the field exploration team. Even so, there might be people too suspicious to act. If they encountered an usher machine on the stairs by chance, there was nothing I could do about that either. Still, losing a body part or 2 was still better than dying here as a human grub. It also helps spread out the machines that might head toward D-Squad. Braun seemed to have retracted his energy as the strange resonance in my throat and lungs faded away.
Gratitude is always music to my ears!
Braun sounded slightly tired but still cheerful. Meanwhile, from the side, a voice filled with irritation broke the moment of appreciation.
Why are you wasting points? The more people escape, the fewer points we get individually.
Here we go again with this guy's twisted logic. And worse, it's an ignorant statement.
Are you stupid? Do you think there aren't veteran employees who'll find the exit on their own without our help, even if a rookie like you escapes?
There are employees who are so well equipped with items and specialized gear, or just naturally talented, that they'll escape without assistance. Even according to the 7 survivors, escaping was already guaranteed. So the individual point distribution wouldn't have been above 1/8, regardless of whether I did this or not. In short, trying to cash in on points from this ghost story wasn't worth it. But instead of explaining all this, I simply smiled faintly.
This is the kind of situation where making a good impression ensures work becomes more enjoyable later. Plus, I get to observe different reactions.
Baek Deok-soo turned his head with an exasperated look. Do you even have a conscience? If he were to reflect on his previous statement, he'd realize that I should be giving him that exact reaction. What a sociopath in this twisted ghost story world. Still, worried that Ms. Goral might have been unsettled, I called out to her.
Wait, did you just call me?
I think my hearing is starting to go just a bit.
I looked at her ear, hidden beneath her hair, where the opening was now absent. Instead, there was a neatly stitched hollow space. Whatever device had been rented to her as a hearing aid was starting to fail. And in such a short time, too.
But I can still hear somewhat. And since there's still plenty of the candle left, I think we can keep moving carefully.
To ensure clearer communication, I gently tapped Ms. Goral on the shoulder. She flinched slightly, but then resolutely resumed her descent down the stairs.
I should carry the candle. Hand it over to me.
Baek Sahion fell silent. We began descending the 6 flights of stairs, tense and alert. Only the sound of our footsteps filled the stairwell. It didn't seem like anyone who had heard my broadcast had come out yet.
Excuse me.
Could she not hear me?
Excuse me. Are you there?
I softly tapped her back. Reluctantly, Baek Sahion also gave her shoulder a couple of light pats. Ms. Goral, reassured, gripped the candle tightly with both hands and continued descending the stairs. The silence stretched on, feeling almost eternal, until we finally reached the first floor. The sound of usher machines echoed from all around, moving along their paths. One of them passed right by us, dragging a dead, human husk along the ground.
We'll head to the spiral staircase now.
Ms. Goral raised her voice. She probably couldn't tell how loud she was speaking anymore due to her deteriorating hearing. It's fine. We're almost there. To react quickly, I kept my ears sharp, walking cautiously but steadily. It wasn't the wrong approach, but the problem with dangers like these is that they sometimes have nothing to do with how prepared you are. For instance, you could be focused on listening for threats, only for an entirely unrelated obstacle to appear. I noticed that the person in front of me had disappeared from view. Looking down, I saw Ms. Goral's figure falling. At her feet, something shiny was sliding across the ground. It had fallen off the corpse the usher machine was dragging, an invisible rental item rolling at just the wrong moment into her path. I reached out and caught Ms. Goral. But as her arm hit the ground, the candle flew out of her grasp. I reflexively caught the candle and threw it toward Baek Sahion. The usher machine turned to face us. A metallic blade flew toward us. I rolled to the side. A sharp gasp came from nearby. The usher machine, having set down the corpse it was carrying, raised its gas lamp to illuminate us. It must have confirmed that all of us were behind on our payments. Reevaluating its priorities, the needle-like appendages mounted on the machine's abdomen flew toward us once again. Its target, the nearest eye. Instinctively, I pushed the heads of my 2 teammates down and threw myself to the floor. A deafening metallic clash and a shower of sparks erupted above our heads. It was Section Chief Lee Jae-hyun. The impossibly strong field exploration team member had ruthlessly deflected the usher machine's needle. The broken tip of the needle flew through the air and embedded itself in the corridor wall. The usher machine twisted its joints, emitting a strange grinding noise. That thing can break. Lee Jae-hyun withdrew his gloved hand. Judging by the force involved, it wouldn't have been surprising if he had fractured something himself. Clutched in his hand like a set of brass knuckles was something metallic. The terrace doorknob. Exhibition property damage. An alarm blared in my mind. That item, all disruptions, theft, or property damage occurring within the exhibition hall are subject to immediate action by shushers, with corresponding fines collected. He even broke an usher machine. Even if the exhibition treated this as a civil issue and only demanded an apology and compensation fees instead of invoking criminal charges, one thing was certain. The usher machines would now treat this as their top priority. And it wasn't just the one machine in front of us. All the usher machines in this zone would react the same way. The sound of the damaged usher machine moving more aggressively than ever filled the air. Beside me, I could hear my squadmates running like mad. As for the Chief Lizard, wait, hold on.
Stop fighting and just run.
No matter how ridiculously strong you are, there's no way you can destroy every usher machine here. Just imagining the chaos spreading further was overwhelming. Even the dark exploration records had those sections censored. I didn't even want to consider how such events might manifest in real life. We ran straight into another usher machine, blocking the path to the staircase. I threw myself through the descending needles, feeling a sharp pain shoot through my arm. Even as I ran, my instincts screamed the truth. I'm going to get caught. With human limitations, it was impossible to avoid this. We would be captured and fined before reaching 0F. A cold chill ran down my back. Is there anything I can do? My breath was ragged. Oxygen deprived, my thoughts became sluggish, giving way to resignation. Maybe I've lasted long enough. My dulled senses split the surrounding sounds into layers. The echo of footsteps rumbled in my ears as if dozens of people were running. It wasn't just that the footsteps sounded like many. There actually were more people now. Instead of 2, there were at least 10 or more sets of footsteps. They were field exploration team members. Spectators who had been watching the situation unfold now seemed to be using the chaos as cover to approach the spiral staircase. This unexpected development had an unintended effect. The usher machines became confused, recalculating priorities based on the importance of tasks and proximity to the various individuals. Everywhere, unpaid participants were breaking into sprints, distracting the machines. Taking advantage of the brief window, we clenched our teeth and launched ourselves toward the staircase. The unsettling sounds of the machines grew closer behind us. The staircase ended, and a silvery hall spread out before us. Assistant Manager Yoon Hae and Supervisor Park Min-seong were holding the doors open. We sprinted with everything we had. As I stepped onto the threshold of the main entrance, my superiors dove through the exit. I followed, nearly collapsing through the doorway. Breathless, I ran until the glowing doorway of light enveloped me. When I opened my eyes, I saw a clean ceiling lined with fluorescent lights. A modern hallway of moderate width. The corridor on the 31st floor of the company, just outside the meeting room. I collapsed onto the floor. I could hear the sound of people rushing out from the conference room, but I had no mental energy or strength left to care. Every ounce of strength had been wrung from my body as I drifted into a dazed state.
Dark Exploration Records Real Merch Box. New merch unlocked.